Mac, you're on mute again.
It wouldn't unmute. It said I'm clearly having a tech day that is just not working. I'm going to let you do the honors. This is your topic after all. Okay. And I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes.
Well, welcome everyone to another Social Saturday chat today. Thank you for being patient with us as we figure out our technical difficulties. We had to repost the room, but it is in the group chat. It's on our pages as well. Martha hopefully will be joining us shortly. But today's topic is going to be about AI prompts. A lot of us think we know how to do them right. A lot of us have no idea how to do them at all. So we're going to be talking about simple prompts to complicated prompts and what are the do's and don'ts. So if this is a topic that resonates with you or anyone that you know that wanted to learn a few tips about prompting, invite them to the show. Repost the room because a lot of people are probably going to the old link. So help us out a little bit. Repost it. Let people know that this is the right link. And as of right now, I want to say hello to some people that have joined us. Oh, no one's joined us yet. But when people join us, we will enjoy to have you in the chat. So today's topic is going to be about AI prompts. But before we do that, let's do some introductions because we have Mac and we have our friend Zion back 2 weeks in a row. This is awesome. So let's do some introductions. Zion, if you're available, do you want to go first?
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Felipe. Thank you so much, Mark. And everybody join us today on another wonderful Social Saturday event. For me, it's always a privilege to sit on, with great men on the stage with us. I know there is no lady here now, but we are waiting for Martha to join us and to be able to speak and inspire everybody out there in the world. So if you're just joining us for the very first time, maybe you see me on my screen. My name is Zion Inogberu. You're Mr. Positive Energy, a man who's on a mission to spread positivity to every corner of the earth, one person at a time. For me, I believe so much in the power of positive collaboration because together we can do so much more in making humanity better and making a difference in the world. I'm a positivity coach and mentor. I help entrepreneurs embrace the power of positivity intentionally in the midst of the busy schedules and life in general. And I also help host online events just like this to help amplify people's voices and make them more visible through their story and their message. So I'm very excited to be here today and I'm looking forward to learn in this event because for me when it comes to AI there is so much we need to learn and also to be able to hear the deep insight and thought on everyone who will be contributing today. So thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate you and I'll heed my back now to Felipe.
Well, thank you, Zion. And I think that's the thing, is that we all are on journeys. And I don't think we're ever going to stop learning about AI. I know I'm never going to stop learning, period. So I love that. I do want to say hello to people who've joined us. Lisa Fevik, it's always great to see you. Champion of women's health and menopause. Gregory Liverpool, the HR advocate for neurodiversities out there. The Maverick, as he likes to be called. William Rochelle's in the house. Great to see you, William. And let's see here. We have David Pushkin. Thank you, David, for making us to the show. We know that you were patiently waiting. And Christy Williams is in the house. And we have Martha with us, too. Yay! So, Martha, since you just jumped on, we're just doing introductions. We already explained about the tech issues. So, actually, I'll let you get settled, and I'll go to Mac first, because you might be getting settled still. So, Mac, please introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. What a day. Just an instruction. If you're ever doing lives, do not go and do any updates on your mobile phone if you're making post-event edits, because they either don't save, they don't work, or they auto prompt a different time. And thank you to David Pushkin, who told me yesterday that I set the event up for 13 hours, because when I hit save on my phone, the little timer just did its own little scroll. Either that or the big thumbs. And that one's for Ken, but excuse me, I digress. So Mac Laubscher, I am a strategic coach that basically helps you to network effectively, both online, offline, as well as using LinkedIn effectively as your like major leverage and tool. You'll see underneath my name in a few seconds, there is a link where you can go and use an app that will literally show you how to use LinkedIn more effectively, so you don't waste time trying to figure it out and lose the will to live. And I love helping people involved in loads of different charities and organizations. And, you know, my motto is you never know where a conversation will lead. And always, you know, let's leave this world in a better place than we found it. That's me. I'm now going to hand the mic over to Martha down there. Martha, welcome. Over to you.
Don't mind me. I look like I just rolled out of bed because I did. I did, friends. I'm getting my coffee ready, but I'm here. Teddy just went to the bathroom, so I'm getting my morning started. For friends that don't know me, I hope I don't look like this all the time, but this is what I look like in the morning. I am.
If that's how you look in the morning, that's pretty damn good. I gotta say, people are probably jealous.
Thank you, Felipe.
You look pretty damn good.
I appreciate that. Thank you. How do you guys look in the morning? I mean, we should come in here one day with our pajamas and our coffees and everything. I mean, I'm not wearing pajamas. Okay, I'm getting off subject here. Oh, you got your hat on. Okay. What was I supposed to do again? I'm sorry. Introduce myself?
Yeah, just introduce yourself. That's it.
Okay. So my name is Martha Lobos-Amaya, and I am the founder of Connect Impact Hub, where we're on a mission to end homelessness. We are advocating nationwide. If you'd like to connect with me, please do. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Felipe.
Thank you, Martha. And I gotta say, I don't know who mentioned it first, but I'm all in on the T-shirt that says "Mac, you're on mute." I think that would go viral. Oh Lord. Well, listen.
Thanks, everybody.
But it's part of your brand almost, I think. But you also got the LinkedIn Sean Connery look, so it balances out. You're all good. For those of you that I have not had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Felipe Cofino. I've been an HR exec for 25. Actually, I'm lying. I've been over 30 years. Okay, I keep on saying 25. It makes me feel younger. And I have been the founder of Cofino Consulting HR Services for the last 5 years, where I offer HR training, recruitment, compliance, and audit services, as well as culture. I gotta come up with a good phrase for that. Culture, because it's not culture building, but it's really evaluating the culture and creating one that fits your company and your culture. So outside of that, I am also a published author with 2 co-author books, as well as my own book of Max and Miranda's Backyard Adventures. And I do have the second one in the publisher's hands, Nick and Guy, who, if you're looking to publish a book, the woman's so busy that I have to wait. I have to wait because she has other books to publish. I know it's just, it's a hard life, but she's definitely somebody who is very sought out. And so if you're looking to publish your first book or your 10th book, reach out to her. And I am a LinkedIn top voice. I don't take that lightly. That's something that I use to really help navigate all the stuff that we put out here, whether it's this show, whether I do the show with Melissa Houston, Careers, Chaos, and Coaching, which is tomorrow, by the way. We're talking about Beyond the Resume. And then also the Workplace Wellness Hour that I do with Smana Jetty, which we're coming up on our 100th episode in 5 more shows. So that's insane. But that is a little bit about me. Today, we're going to talk about AI and AI prompts. So I just want to go real quick around the room here with you three. I'm curious, on a scale of 1 being I don't know anything to 10, I use it regularly and I feel really confident on all aspects of AI. What number would you all say you fall on? So, Martha, starting with you, where would you say you fall on that matrix?
What was the matrix again?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were getting your coffee. I'm sorry. Okay, you got it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I just want to do a quick survey of the three. And everyone in the chat, put in the chat also where do you land of how comfortable and knowledgeable are you with AI? 1 meaning I don't know anything. 10 meaning I know everything. I confidently teach about it, and I am always going to keep on learning about it. So 1 to 10,
For
where do
me,
you?
yeah, I would say I'm going to fall at a 6.
All right, good. Mac, how about you?
I can't even work a mute button, so maybe a 3. But I'm always learning. I'm always learning. But I will be sharing some of what I've learned in the comments, and I'd love other people to share, like a prompt that they learned or a specific AI tool that they've learned that has helped them, and drop it in the comments.
Absolutely. And I think you're
Ooh,
much.
there's 7s and 9s out there.
So Zion, where are you at?
Okay, I think I will give myself a 7 over 10 when it comes to how good I am with using AI tools and prompting it to give me the desired results. So a 7 over 10 for me.
All right. I would probably give myself, I think I'm a 7 going on an 8. Thank God I didn't say 6 going on 7, 6, 7. But 7 going on 8 because I literally try to use all aspects of it. And I definitely think that I don't necessarily use them all well, so I have a lot to learn. And I love that people are confident. We got 7s, we got 8s, we got 9s in the chat. So I love that. And one of the things, I'm sorry, a little side note. Yes, Gregory, I called you the Maverick, but I still stand my ground on the canary. I don't like that analogy, so I'm not going to call you the canary in the coal mine because I just feel like I'm wishing you negative thoughts. So, so back to AI here. I think that with everyone here, we have so much opportunity to really learn. And the great thing about AI is that your teacher is AI itself in many cases. You're learning from it, so you don't have to wait on anybody. It's on your schedule. It's on your time schedule, and you're able to really do it however you feel comfortable. Now, so building a prompt, I want to start off with just, for people that have been working on this for a while, I want people to think about this, okay? You have simple things in life, whether it's cooking, planning vacations, or you are coding and building software. There's so much opportunity with it. So don't let it overwhelm you. I know people that use it just for recipes and cooking, and they're happy with it. And that's what works. And guess what? They're probably in the cooking field, so it works. But tell me in the chat, or what do y'all think? Is this a weak prompt or a strong prompt? If I write an email to my employee about attendance, you think that's a weak prompt or a strong prompt? What do y'all think here on stage? Just yell out.
I would say it's weak.
I would say it's weak. It's lacking.
Mm-hmm.
It's lacking enough information. Am I still on mute?
Mac, you're still on mute. Oh, I can't hear you then. Oh, I honestly thought you were on mute.
You guys are just playing with me today.
I can hear you.
I'm cross.
I'm trying to see who in the comments. What are their thoughts on here?
All right, now I can hear everything.
I see number 2. That was
there.
Earlier. Yeah, we can hear you.
Say something so I know I can hear you. Don't just nod your head.
I'm saying something.
Oh, you are.
Hi.
Martha's talking.
Oh, no, I can hear you, but I can't hear Martha. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. All right. So I can hear you. What did you say, Mac?
I said Martha was talking.
No, I know. As far as weak or strong, I can't hear Martha right now. So what did you say?
I said weak. It was lacking detail.
Okay. All right. And what did Martha say? Because I didn't hear her. No, I'm asking you, Mac. What did Martha say? Because I didn't hear her.
She said it was week 2.
Okay, so all right, so to get past the chaos of this, who's on first? I feel like, yeah, it is. It's very weak. It lacks detail, and I think that's the problem, that people don't take a shortcut for a shortcut that was already created. All right, ChatGPT is giving us a shortcut. Don't try to shortcut the shortcut. All right. So what I mean by that is put in as much detail into your prompts. First of all, I probably would never write an email to an employee using a prompt. I'd probably write the email, drop it in ChatGPT if it didn't have any details that were specific or private, and say, polish this up. Okay. I like the polish up feature because it fixes the grammar. It doesn't change the words a lot. It just polishes it up a little bit grammatically and spelling wise. But you need to have details, and about if you were drafting an email, hypothetically, you gotta have the details about what is it about the attendance. Were they late? How many times were they late? What's the policy? What's the consequences if they do it again? There's so much in there that you need to think about. So that's why you don't want to rely on AI. It needs your details that's in your head in that prompt. One of the things I want to give an example of is, help me find a job. Okay, that's great. But sometimes the AI will come back and say, I have some questions for you. And that's wonderful. It doesn't always do that. So you need to be really specific. I'm looking for an HR job that pays this much. It's in this area and this city, and I'm looking for a upper level management job that is in this industry, that has these kind of hours and flexibility, and maybe offers these benefits. You want to put everything in there, because you might be surprised what comes back out. Now, and before anybody asks, there's a lot of questions about AI prompts. I'm sorry, about AI features. We're not going to go into the AI agents and the AI creation of images and all that. That's wonderful, but that's the next level. Right now, we're just starting with prompts. Okay, so so I will give one more example, and then I want everyone to go around the room. So I'm giving you a heads up of a prompt that you used that has worked for you. I don't care if it's a simple prompt or a complicated prompt, but let me know. Because one example is I had a VP of IT one time when ChatGPT came out, and he was so impressed. He goes, I haven't coded in a while, and I asked ChatGPT to code, and all I asked it to do was change the font of this word to this color and this word to this color, and the code changed it every time. It was wonderful. And so it really is impressive of how much you can ask it. One of the things that, and before we get into the do's and don'ts, an advanced prompt, I want to give you an example of an advanced prompt, okay? Here's something that I didn't write, I didn't use this, but I wanted to get an example. It says, act as a LinkedIn top voice in leadership and workplace culture. Now, starting off that prompt, act as, that's really important, okay? If you are looking for real advice or real insights, you want to tell ChatGPT, act like the CEO of Tesla. Well, that might not be a very good example. Act like the CEO of this company, whoever it is, and then critique what I'm sending you as if you were that person. You're going to get a lot of more valuable information. Also, say, act as a English teacher and give me feedback on this writing. Whatever it is, act as a professional chef and critique this recipe to make it taste better. You're going to get a lot more detailed feedback. So when I said act as a LinkedIn top voice, I said write a LinkedIn post about leadership, accountability. My audience would be HR executives in general, and people managers. The style could be conversational, insightful, and practical. Include a personal story, one leadership session, one reflective question, and a strong call to action. Don't make it more than 500 words, and avoid cliches and general leadership advice. Now, I would never write something like that detailed for a post. I write my own posts, but this is an example of how detailed you want your prompts to be. If I asked this right now, it probably would come up with a pretty decent post, and I'd probably edit the crap out of it, but it would probably come up with a really good post because I was really specific. So I want you all to think about what role should AI play when you're writing a prompt? What's happening? What's the context that you're giving it? What's the goal or objective that you want it to have? And who's the audience that you're writing to? And then most importantly, what are the constraints that you don't want it to include? That's really powerful. Like, one of my favorites is don't be agreeable. Poke holes through this as much as possible. I want to have a solid final product. So be as critical, but honest and accurate as possible. So I'm going to stop there. I want to go around the room, and then I'm curious about, I'm going to go in the chat and see if anyone's putting some examples there as well. But starting with Martha, and then we'll go to Zion and then Mac. Give us an example of a prompt that you've used in the past that's worked for you.
Yeah, so I'm in school, as many as y'all know. So I've been looking at researching, trying to narrow down the data, but I'm also noticing that I cannot depend. I mean, I knew that already, but you cannot depend on what is coming up in either ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude. Sometimes the information that's being provided is not accurate. So just a lot of research, a lot of peer review, scholarly journals. My stuff is getting a little bit more in depth with research. So I'm using it a lot for research, and also using it for one of the prompts that I found not too long ago was on Gemini. You can create flyers. And I just think that is so amazing. The prompt I give is create a flyer for, and then I'll just give whatever I need it for. If it's for, I'm going to just say an example, for a garage sale, create a flyer for a garage sale. And then I'll put pictures of shoes, clothes, or whatever I want the flyer to look like. If you want a little bit more specific, it'll give you the flyer, but also sometimes there's the verbiage that will be misspelled. So you can actually write down what you want on your flyer, and then just create the prompt to say, include the verbiage here on the flyer, and then just add the images to the flyer. So that's just a simple one. And I will pass it over to Matt. Let's see what he's doing.
Okay, so all of these things are like, and the reason I gave myself a 3 is because if you asked me a few weeks ago, I would have said I was like a 9. And then I started playing with all the different types of AI, and I was like, I'm definitely not even freaking scratching the surface here. So I really want people to walk away with value today of things that I wish I knew when I first started playing with AI. So as an example, what Martha just mentioned now is she's giving instruction. And what Felipe mentioned about being very clear and specific about that email as an example. The one massive time saver, like if you have repeating things that you go back to AI and ask, but you keep having to use that prompt and then edit a little bit of it for a different action, there's something called tags or shortcuts in AI. And I didn't know about this because, as an example, I write a lot of documents. I do a lot of training material, and I was going through and I was copying and pasting the prompts into like a Word document so that I could then paste it in when I'm going back into AI to go and ask certain things and make sure it was as accurate, and kind of copying the most accurate prompt that actually worked so that I could remember it for future. But then I found out there's something called tagging. So as an example, a tag is basically a shortcut in, say, for argument's sake, ChatGPT. So as Felipe spoke about, emails about employee reviews, say, for example, instead of, if you've got the guidance of the structure, and once you've written what an employee review should look like, include, exclude, think about, all those things, you can then say, in future, use this instruction and call it employee review. And then when you go back into your AI, you just type employee review, colon, and then for XYZ. And it already remembers everything else, and you don't have to do it. So as an example, I wrote this elaborate prompt for photo restoration because my mom sent me like an old photo from an album that just looked rubbish. And I thought, oh, okay. And I must have spent 2 hours trying to get this photo to look right. Then I got it right. Then I was copying this prompt like 50 times over to replicate for each photo she sent me. And I was like, wow. And I ended up just tagging it as the word restore. It's literally 2 pages long of prompting. And I called it restore. Now, every time I put a photo in, I just put the word restore and it's done. And I'm like, okay. So I'm going to share in the comments some of the tags and examples you can use. I think that's enough for me. Otherwise, I'll go down a rabbit hole.
I think that's so important. You know, I said we weren't going to go really complicated, but I think that you, Martha, already ventured in examples of how it can go to imagery and tagging. And one of the things that a lot of AIs have is they have projects as an option to create a project. I strongly recommend if you're working on something to create a project. I created a project for Max and Miranda. Now, I drew the animals. I love sketching and drawing. I drew all the animals that were in here, but the people, yeah, I'm not good at drawing the people to make them look like the people. So I had AI take a photograph of the real people and dog, cartoonize them. I had take my sketchings, cartoonize them to make them similar to this cartoon. And that's how I started creating the illustration. So there's a part of me in there and there's a part not. But in that project, I had sources. So when you create a project, you have a little tab on the top that says sources. In there, you can put stuff that you want every prompt that you write about this project to refer to that source. So let's make it simpler. I literally have a virtual assistant for HR, for Cofina Consult Team. It's an AI project. I have it in there. I have source documents that are specific to the states that I work in, the laws about those states and employment law. It has a lot of my Fluentbase 5 and training material, so it can resource that specific data when I write about training. And that's something that's really powerful, is that when you have something you already created, instead of having to copy and paste it every time, like Max said, use a tag or have a source file where you drop your files in there of the background that you're going to reference whenever you're referencing. So if you have a company and you have your company handbook, put that in there as a source thing. Again, there shouldn't be anything confidential or private in there, but that's going to help you as you write these prompts, source and be consistent. So again, that's for someone who has a business or has a huge project on. If you never used it, one of the easiest things, and we'll go to Zion, is my wife, my mother, 94-year-old mother, mind you, figured out how to use it for recipes. And not only that, it was, I saw this recipe on this cooking show. I don't remember, what was it called? It was chicken marsala, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, type it into ChatGPT and tell you to give you a recipe. Like, oh my God, this looks identical, but it's missing tomatoes. Great, have it redo it and add tomatoes. Boom. And they're like, this is amazing. Like, but we need it for 8 people, not 4 people. Change it to 8 people. Bam. Same thing with vacations. I want to go on a cruise in this month on this date. Do some research and find out. Now, AI agent will do a little bit more, but I don't want to get into that. So it's really simple things, and we lost Zion. So, all right. Well, I do want Matt. Can we put a link in the chat? I don't know if we've done that yet or not. And I didn't realize
it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen.
Oh, there you go. And
begin.
One of the things that that I saw in the chat here was the reaction that as soon as I mentioned the CEO of Tesla. And I want y'all to recognize in the chat that I immediately corrected myself and said it was not a good example. But you all went off about it. Like, oh, you lost me there. And that would be horrible. Like, I know that was not a good example. I apologize. But I'm going to hand it over to, actually, I'm going to give one last example that I want to give. And I'm going to hand it over to Mac and Martha to share some more examples. Because that's the thing about this, is that the more examples you see, I think the better that you will realize. What I do want to stress is, don't put anything in there confidential. Don't put anything there private about yourself or others. Don't put in, obviously, account numbers and passwords and logins. That's obvious, I think. But careful about how much you share about you. All right? If when you Google yourself, it doesn't know your age right now, then don't tell it how old you are. I'm a 85-year-old. Stop. I'm a Gen Xer. I'm a Gen Zer, whatever you are. Do it that way. Be a little more generic. And if you need to be specific, just don't give too much. Because that's something that I want people to be very careful. We don't know where all this data is eventually going to go, but people will have access to it. I'm telling you right now. So be careful. Now, there is for high-level users, last thing I'll move on is there's a way for you to tell AI, do not learn from me in the settings. And what that does is it prevents AI from taking anything that you do and sharing it publicly or with AI data out there. I don't know how accurate and how good it is, but to me, I know that businesses use it. It's part of the credibility that AI sells it to businesses, saying we will not use your data or we'll not learn from you, so that we can't steal information from you, basically. And that's a protective way of doing that for yourself. You do have some limitations when that happens, but it is a way of protecting your data, especially if you're working on something confidential. Am I worried about anyone stealing this data and the images? Not really. That's not the high value. But if I'm starting a business and I have a very special product that I'm rolling out that no one's had, like Mac's project, I would not put all the details of his project on the ChatGPT because that would be exposing his invention out to others. So with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Martha. Martha, over to you, my friend.
Yeah, I recently started playing with Grok. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, in my car. And it is very interesting that we now have AI in electric vehicles. And it could even provide storytelling, therapy. It gives you all these options that it could do for you. It tells you, I'm just testing it out, just very recent. And so, but it's very distracting too. And so like the safety wise, I'm like, I don't know, like AI is coming and it's coming very fast. And we really have to, if we really are interested in keeping updated, to stay in the loop of what's happening with AI. 3 days ago, Google released a video on how to create an agent. I'll post it in the comments here. And basically, what they're doing here, they're using an example as an agent creating blogs for you. And they walk you through the steps on how to do that. And so basically, my question is, like, I know this is kind of like out of the blues, but like what's happening to like the software engineers? Because in this video, she mentioned like, they're pretty much doing software engineer, teaching us how to do it online for free. So I know that's a little off subject, but we can talk about it another time. But I'm just blown away with all of this tech stuff. And then in school, we're also being taught how to use AI and not use AI as AI doing our work for us, because they are scanning our papers through the system. Anytime we submit anything, we're being told what percentage of the information we're submitting is copied, or if it's AI. I mean, there's a lot of things happening with the schools too now, because everything is just so accessible through AI that, yeah, you can create a paper, but how are you, like, I had so many questions going in, but now that I'm in, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're promoting AI for us to use the AI tools. So just a little bit of what I'm doing, you guys. I have no choice. I have to be involved with AI.
Well, Martha, it's interesting what you have all these different kind of angles that you're talking about there, because I had a pop-up the other day which basically said AI evaluator, which basically then gives you a score of what percentage it thinks of your content is written by AI. And I thought, oh, okay, well, that's a good thing, especially for university schools, etc. And then at the bottom, it had the option of let us help you rewrite this with AI to reduce the plagiarism and all the other. I was like, so hold on, you're going to use AI to make me not look like AI by using an AI. I was like, well, it's just nuts. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing people's examples. I've got quite a few tags and things that I'm sharing in the comments, but they're too long to share on screen because then I can't see the one for Martha's face. So I'm just going to drop them in the comments and go and have a look there. And if they're useful to anybody, great.
I love those tags you're creating there, Mac. Those are golden, and I think that those are important to make sure that people understand the value of having a tag and using that. That's what I love about. We all have different experiences. You heard Martha's experience, you heard Mac's experience, you heard my experience. We want to hear your experiences. And I want to touch on Gregory's Liverpool's comment about AI shouldn't be used in HR, and I don't disagree with the human. We can't use it as a tool to replace the human connection. Absolutely agree with you on that, Gregory. But look, I use it daily. I use it to help me find trends on feedback from opinion surveys. I help me draft up policies that I have never drafted before, so I needed a little help researching on it. I use it for, to expedite processes that maybe would have taken me. That's a really weird feature that I've been playing with too, Mac, the profile thing. But it's one of those things where I think that we need as humans to be able to adapt. And in human resources, that's kind of the epitome of, hey, let's not show that we are transactional, that we're strategic, that we're human, that we're able to add value as a person because we had the time to do it. And then the other thing I wanted to mention here was that, and you're right, Gregory, a lot of HR professionals aren't using it that way, but I think a lot of people in general aren't using it ethically. I will tell you right now, I get so many AI emails from people that say they're recruiters and they're working for this company. And it's so funny when I look at their profile on LinkedIn, it doesn't match up. I'm like, yeah, you're a recruiter that's trying to scam me, and I'm going to report you because this is unethical. So be cautious, be careful about AI. You've got to have your radar on. You've got to be really careful because there are a lot of scams out there that are really convincing. Those deep fakes, when you see a celebrity selling you on something that they never endorsed, that's really scary. That means that they could use your face to do something that you don't endorse. So we gotta be careful. Inspect what you expect. Be careful and cautious. Be alert, but take some risks. And be careful. So with that being said, we got our buddy William Rochelle, aka Bill, in the house in this comfortable snuggie. Is it cold where you're at, Bill? Because I gotta tell you, it's hot as crap here in the East Coast, and you look like you are in like Calgary winter right now.
So my personal base, I like cold. So
your temperature love language is warmth.
so my house is at like 58 degrees, but it's 100 degrees outside. Okay. And I like being cozy. It's weird.
It's so cold that you put clothes because it's hot outside, but you put clothes on because you're so cold inside.
Because it makes me feel like just warm and like a hug. I don't know. I can't stand heat.
Fun to mess with you. I always appreciate you coming up. Please share your experience. I know you have a lot of experience with AI.
I don't, and that's what's so interesting.
With playing with AI. Let me rephrase.
I use it for my hobbies, but I've just recently got into it from a business perspective, and it's a totally different ballgame. So a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm a 7 on AI." Well, I thought I was really great when I was like making music and building videos and, coming up with like pictures of myself. My favorite prompt is make me look thinner and better looking. That's my favorite prompt. But once I got into it and really dive deep into what the possibilities were, it made me more excited about using it. and it made me more cautious at the same time. So I believe it's the wave of the future, that we need to understand it and its capabilities fully. And most of us out there think we know it because we use Chat GPT, but honestly, that's like layer one. Like layer one. I've created an app. I launched my new website. I'm going to launch Martha. She doesn't know it yet, but now she does. Because I just want to give back, and she gives back every day. And if we embrace it and use it to help us get to the next level, then it's great. The more we fight something, the further behind we get. So being cautious, maintaining the human in the loop is phenomenal. But the days of doing everything yourself are completely yesteryear.
And if you don't agree with that statement, you're gonna wake up one day and realize that you've fallen behind. And I think it's not to scare people. It's just to make
You agree with me?
I agree with you more than you think. You think that I just like to pick on you. That's all. You see to pick on. Oh, you're being so dramatic, Bill. All right. Anyway, but here's I'm going to compliment him again. So be careful here. He might fall off his chair. Bill made a very excellent point, because there are so many other versions, of AI out there. And here's the thing. Some are better for certain things than others. In the world of research and data integrity and accuracy, Perplexity has a really good reputation for that research, but it doesn't have it for other areas. Some pull more from Google and the internet than others do. So you've got to really look at what's best. If you're starting off, ChatGPT is obviously the one that's been the most well known because it was one of the first, but it isn't the only one. Is it the one that is my go-to for a lot of things that I do? Yes, because I've built up a history in it and it's worked for me. But if I needed to go into legal law, stuff like that, I might look at Perplexity in the future. Grok, I don't know crap about Grok. Claude is
And you
good.
shouldn't.
Claude is good, but there's some things about Chat that I like better than Claude. Other people like Claude better than Chat. It depends on you. So I don't want people to feeling like you have to use what we use. No, you're not. I'm not you. You're not me. So let's make sure that you use what's right for you and your journey. And on that note, I'm going to hand it over to Mac or Martha if they have any comments about bills before we go on to our wonderful other guest here. We got full stage.
I tell you what, everybody's
I'm
popping up like mad. Go for it, Martha.
I'm so happy you're here, Bill. Thank you for joining us and speaking about it, because I think you're a pro at AI. So I can't wait to see all the goodness you got in store ahead. I'm excited for you.
I have a June 30th deadline to get multiple things out. And that's because Martha saved me. And so I was able to really sit down and map out what I want the next 30 days to look like. And I am on track. Who is out there growling at me?
I'm sorry, Gregory, can you mute yourself, my friend?
Oh, no.
Thank you.
But
you know what? You bring up a great point. Go ahead.
It's so interesting. And having goals and setting them and allowing it to help you obtain those goals is a strategy within itself. And the part about my website and the app and Martha, you're already in it. We've already scraped your website. It's already done. We're just trying to figure out the color palettes. So, as I do something for myself, I am going to do one or two projects for somebody else just just because I can, and because that's my way of giving, because I'm not in a financial giving
So that's
stage in my
like
life.
important point though, Bill, because and I want you to hear this because this is directed towards you and other people. Is make sure that when you use AI and it helps you become efficient, and you have some time back in your life, don't automatically fill it with other busy work. Make sure that you are not burning yourself out. As soon as you said, I got multiple projects due at the end of the month, that was something that someone said to me a year ago because they started using AI and they burnt themselves out because instead of taking some of that time back to focus on them and their health, they were just going with all that extra time. So I want you to be careful with how much you commit to yourself and others, and make sure you don't burn yourself out in the process of giving, because what you're doing is amazing, but I've seen people burn out because they
I'm
had
so good. I am so good. Everything is right where I want it to be, and I have another 17 days.
good. All right, well,
So
we have 3 other people on stage, so let's get to them real quick.
you
And
told
then,
me to shut up.
no, I did not. I kindly said we have 3 other people on stage. So I respect you, Bill, but I know I can be real with you, my friend. So, and I liked how you changed your glasses mid-frame. Like, what? Do you have a different personality now? Are you Mike Simon now? Mike Simon, the chef? I always say that Bill looks like Mike Simon, the chef. If you ever seen him, he's a cook, and he always has similar glasses. And yes, he's bald as well, so he has a resemblance to our friend Bill here. All right, let's move on. I have no idea who came on first. I'm going to go to Gregory first, and then I'm going to pass it over to Mac to introduce the next two, because I'm sure people are tired of hearing my voice. So, Gregory, the HR guy who's in the plane as a maverick. I am not going to call you the bird. Over to you.
Felipe, that is branding 101. That's kind of my new branding tagline. I am your HR maverick canary. Read
You can
the
say that. I
book.
don't need to. You
Read
can say
the book, Felipe. Read the book. That's all I have to say is read.
I did basically recommendation, and I still don't like the analogy. I like the analogy of us being
Okay, canary. Okay, people who are neurodiverse are basically called canaries because they could basically spot trends faster than "quote unquote" normal people. Hence, the canary in the coal mine type of juncture.
Shut them down. Go ahead.
Oh, my part that throws me off. If you just said canary, I'd be okay. It's the canary in the coal mine because usually the canary dies.
But
So
that's how
Okay,
they
so
that's how they detected the fuse.
Hold on. I'm going to be the party pooper because we have
I-
7 minutes left and we got to get through everybody. So,
Okay,
Mr.
okay.
Gregory, get
Okay, I will.
to what you came to share with us, my friend.
Yeah, I'm not finished with you, Felipe. We're gonna have this battle one more
Take
time.
this out into the
seriously.
car park, okay?
Yeah. So the reason why I put those HR, the intersectionality of AI and HR, because hence that's why the lovely and one of our HR friends, Laura Sherman, basically dropped a mic drop type of moment that a lot of people in the who are HR professionals using AI is not trained in AI. Hence, that's why we have not 1, not 2, but 3 related AI related lawsuits within the HR recruiting space. And that's why I will say that the people in the HR community needs to be fully trained before they basically give all blessing and the blessing in regards to the use of AI in an ATS environment. That's why I looked some of the stats up in terms of the U.S. unemployment rate and the Canadian unemployment rate. And the thing is that I'll give you in a nutshell, Black people are basically have a higher percentage of unemployment in the United States and Canada. It's double in Canada and is two percentage points higher in the United States. So that's why it's because we had there's undisputed data that basically differentiates when you put AI in regards to in terms of selection and stuff. It tendingly biases against people of color and disability. Point blank, End of story. Period. That's the fact. And that's why a lot of people in the HR community was slamming the University of Stanford paper very bluntly. But the thing is, if they look at I will say this: if you are slamming that, then you do not believe your U.S. unemployment data rates in your own country, and I have data rates in Canada that basically is on the same level or worse. So that's why I will say there needs to be some type of regulation, governance, professional ethical standards, and transparency in regards to using AI in a recruiting type of format within our HR profession. Period. End of story.
All right. I will say this. I think that you're absolutely right. The AI ATS does need to be better. It's definitely, and it's not just African Americans. It's people of older age. It's Latinos. It's a lot of people it's discriminated against in the past. But AI has been in ATSs for decades. It's not anything new. It's just become more obvious now, and I think that's where people in all fields, not just HR, need to learn how to do it right and have strong policies and guidelines to protect people, because people are using it as a shortcut when it's already a shortcut. And one of the things that
it's at the software level, not at the user level, and it's been for about a decade.
Thank you, Bill. One of the things.
Thank you, Bill, for having my back and being my wingman.
Okay, so one of the things that is important to remember is that with AI, you have a lot of people out there that are trying it for the first time, and they don't have guidelines. So people need to have those guidelines built in order to follow. And you heard about one of the first stories was an attorney tried to use AI for a case and gave it to a judge, and it had inaccurate information. That same story is what's happening in HR. It's happening in IT. It's happening in all areas and all industries. The ATS has got a huge issue, but that's not just because of AI. That's because of the people behind it using it. People are allowing the AI to discriminate. Workday, the age thing, someone set up that standard to not allow people over a certain age to pass. Someone created that. Not AI, a human being created that. So we got a much deeper issue than just AI ethics. We got human ethics to make sure that comes along with AI ethics. So I hope y'all remember that as we go through. We got 2 more people on stage and we got a very short amount of time. So Mac, I'm going to hand it over to you to introduce Chris and Jedi Jay, and we are going to go from there.
So the Jedi Jay actually came on first, and he's somehow dropped to the bottom of the screen. He has these like tech things where he comes on, he gets us all excited because he's going to talk, and then he just off into space, and then he comes back again. And anyway, so stopping my rambling, Jedi Jay, introduce yourself, tell us what your question or your contribution, because you had a lot in the comments already, and we want to know, and then we will move on to onto you, Chris.
Yeah, sure. Hi, guys. It's good to be here. My name's Jay from Massachusetts, and what I wanted to talk about is the human versus the AI aspect of things. I think one of the things that needs to be talked about is clarity. With AI and robots, you have to have clarity, and I think one of the things AI and robots have difficulty with is being able to comprehend what a human being is saying. Whereas with humans can understand, comprehend, and they have clarity. Whereas with AI, you may say one thing, but AI may differentiate it as something else, and that's where clarity comes into play. So I'm interested in learning more about how AI and clarity play a crucial role in this discussion. Thank you.
Well, Felipe has disappeared, and I know this is his topic, so I'm suspecting he'll be back in a second. But When it comes to clarity, I think similar to what Felipe said right in the beginning, with that prompt for the employee feedback, it is really important to put in as much detail as possible and being extremely clear with what you're asking, because otherwise, things like just a generic answer, but also hallucinations. So people don't realize that if you don't ask, as an example, only give me statistics that are backed by fact and supply the resources, you're effectively just saying, give me an answer. And that can be anything, and it can be very broad, and they could just like use creative juices and let it go. And too many people use AI answers as gospel truth without verification. And that's where a lot of the dangers and credibility, because a lot of people, it's great to use all these prompts and all these shortcuts, but trust but verify every single thing before you put your name out there. It is so easy to just generate something that is not, it's going to do more damage than anything else.
Yeah,
Felipe?
if you don't take anything else away, trust but verify your data. That's AI is still learning. Paul. AI still doesn't know how to be compassionate and curious. It doesn't know these skills, so it's still learning. So for you to assume that what it's giving you is gospel, it's very scary. You've got to inspect what you expect. And sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm like, that can't be true. And I research it before, I Google it, I ask some people, I'm like, wow, that was true. But you got to make sure you're asking the right questions. So great. And the last thing I'll say about clarity, Jay, is that the less clarity you give, the less accuracy you're going to get. Plain and simple. So, Chris, over to you, my friend. How are you, and what's going on with you and AI today?
Oh, hey, Felipe, how you doing? How you doing, sis? Martha, AI and I don't get along because it doesn't understand the prompts that I say, so we don't get along. But I do know, Martha introduced me to ChatGPT, Gemini, and I have used it, and I used it, and I actually used it and created a bill for the legislature for my Saving Teen Lives, and I changed a few things in it because I wanted to clarify and make them understand what I was doing with my bill. But I mean, Gemini was actually right on the money about what I wanted to do. But I just feel, I've been getting emails about AI coming into my business from a Saving Teen Live nonprofit organization. I don't want it because I just feel I want people, when they call my phone, know that they are talking to a person to person and get clarity and understand what I'm trying to do with my business. And, Martha has been a big help. And, she is now part of my team and bringing a lot to me saving teen lives. So I just feel AI is just not what I want in my business, because I want people to know that they are talking to people and not having to go through a channel to get a person on the phone, because it's hard to get a person on the phone with AI because it doesn't understand exactly what you want. And sometimes it doesn't resonate with what you're trying to get the person to understand. And, but I do know I use ChatGPT, and it actually created a bio for me. Matter of fact, it did two. And I think we used the first one because me and Martha went over it, and we used it for my Saving Teen Lives. And now we got everything. Look, and actually, if you look at my profile now, it has changed too, thanks to Miss Martha showing me what I needed to do. And, and it's been amazing. So that's where I stand.
Well, I cannot say enough great things about how to end up with someone like you, Chris, because you are showing an example of how you're using it to make an amazing difference out there. Saving teen lives right now, I'm sorry, but talking about having a strong mission, using AI for it, that's a great example. And that's what I hope people take away from it is what can you do with AI to help you? Because I want to give you one last real life example. And this is an HR example this is for you, Gregory. All right. I had an opinion survey that I did for the entire staff. All right. No big surprise with Yippee. Everyone does opinion surveys. I got all the data and it analyzes data. But then I normally would have spent a couple of days looking it over, trying to sort it, figure out what the issues are. I put it in the ChatGPT. I asked it for trends that it saw that weren't showing up. I saw trends. That saved me time. That time I used to set up meetings with every single employee in the company for 15 minutes to them just share how they're feeling about their work, about no agenda. Added that data to what I found, and I found issues that weren't existent in the survey from those 15-minute conversations. I wouldn't have had time for those 15-minute conversations if I had not used AI to summarize and see the trends. So I want you to see the ripple effect of if you use it wisely, you'll have time to do more human connection things. Because a lot of that work, like think about accountants, there are fewer and fewer people graduating from universities with an accounting degree than ever before. Not because of AI. This trend happened way before AI happened. When I was recruiting, it was very difficult to find accountants because the graduating classes were getting smaller and smaller. AI is now coming in, doing a lot of accounting work and analyzing that and structuring that in a way where we may not need someone to do that. We're lucky that that's happening because that's not the case in most places. A lot of entry-level jobs are being replaced with AI. We can't stop that. That's happening as we speak. So what now? Not why me, what now? What's next? What am I going to do differently with AI to be relevant in this future world? And I think that's the message that I hope you all take away from this, because as much as I would like to say, oh, it's only temporary, it's a fad, it's going away, it's not. And I don't want you all to use it just the way any of us explain. Use it for what you need and what you feel comfortable with. It's your journey. So with that,
Could I
Martha,
rebut
Mac,
a little
any
bit?
final words you want to share?
Can I rebut a little bit? That's where I will say AI should be used in that sector. But once you're using it in terms of evaluation of a resume, seeing who gets interviewed, yes or no, make in terms of that stuff, and when you do not have the adequate training to analyze all that type of stuff, that's where it crosses moral, personal, and ethical lines. And that's where the intersectionality of AI and HR is going, and it's going to destroy a lot of careers in that retrospect. So that's my rebuttal on that.
So, Felipe, I wanted to add a couple of things in there because there are quite a few things that kind of came to mind when Chris was speaking, and several other people have made comments about using AI, and in the comments about the concern about AI replacing people. But what Bill said earlier really just kind of echoed and resonated with me, because what he's actually, and the message that I received there was, AI has enabled opportunities. And where people in the past may have not pursued certain inspirations or things that they think could make a change, AI has allowed them to be able to speed up their process. So as an example, talking about the website side of things, I've been doing websites since about 2008, 2009, coding and working on that. And it's like my brain gets fried when you think about all the stuff that's needed to do that. But today there are processes and things available that can literally take you as quick as maybe 10 minutes or an hour to replicate what would have taken 2-3 months worth of work 5 or 6 years ago. And this is where AI should be used. But what Chris was saying about I don't want AI to stand or to replace me is also vital, because we are desperate for human connection. So use AI to speed up the thing so you can get quicker to the human connection. So one of the things that I learned the hard way this past week is the whole trust but verify thing. I'm working on multiple different projects. I assume that we've covered all the bases on one of the projects. But what I did was I kept asking, as an example, ChatGPT. I would go in, I've built my prompts I've learned over the last couple of years, and I was thinking I was getting a pretty solid answer, but it was still not where I needed it to be. And I wasn't getting the outcome I wanted. So I basically took everything ChatGPT said to me and what I was doing in my project, dumped it into Perplexity and went, do me a favor, review what I'm doing here. And it picked up the one snag so quickly. And it was actually a major legal risk for the company I'm working with that they themselves didn't know about. Not to do with working with me, but something they'd forgotten in their own process. So this is where AI can be very powerful if you use it correctly. I'm going to wrap up at the end because I want to talk about next week's event, which is going to be, mind-blowing. But for now, I know we've run over time already. We need to wrap up. And thank you so much, Bill, Jay, Chris, Greg, for joining us on stage. Zion, who could only be here for a short time, but massively appreciated. And everybody who's watching, whether you're watching on LinkedIn, you're watching on social media somewhere else, you're watching on Bill's channel, Felipe's channel, you're watching on Facebook or wherever you're watching, do us a favor and go onto LinkedIn and follow the Social Saturday Chat page. Just search Social Saturday Chat on LinkedIn and go and support it, and let us know how you found us. But with that, I'm going to go back to you, Felipe.
All right. Well, and one thing that I wanted to mention, I'll mention later. But, Martha, let's go to you with any final thoughts you have on the topic.
Yeah, I recently watched a gentleman, which I don't know his name, but he said something that just stuck with me. He said, work smarter, not harder. And this person is a billionaire. He was born in 1997. And I was just those words just stood out this week. Work smarter, not harder. So that's my takeaway. And I'm sharing it with you guys because I'm also on that journey of working smarter, not harder, so I don't burn myself out. I'll pass it over back to you.
I love that. And that's a phrase that I'm a big fan of work smarter, not harder, because and AI is giving us that ability to do that. So let's use it ethically. Let's be smart about it. And let's make sure that we are not letting it replace us. One of the things that we have is the opportunity for us to stand out. And with the whole concept, I'll give you an example, the metaverse. I'm not a big fan of the metaverse because I feel like it's a fun, video game kind of experience, but you're not seeing the human. At least here on video, we're seeing the human. If all of you all were avatars, I'd be really concerned in the direction that we're going. All right. I don't want to see avatar. I want to see the human being. I want to hear your real voice. So go to the metaverse for you go to laser tag for the day, but I don't want to make that part of the normal world that I'm in, at least. So I hope you all found some value. Let us know in the comments what you took away and what was your favorite takeaway, and what you're going to start trying that maybe you weren't going to do before the show today. As far as what we have coming up, Mac and Martha, we're going to do a quick roundabout with that, and then we are done for today. As far as what I have coming up right now, tomorrow I have Careers Cast and Coaching with Melissa Houston, and we're going to be talking about beyond the resume, how recruiters really recruit and take care of their connections, their relationships, and their pipeline. If that interests you, join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. And then, of course, I'll be back here next Saturday with this amazing crew for another Social Saturday chat. And then the following Monday will be Workplace Wellness Hour. It's going to be our last show of the season. We're going on our summer break like we do every year. And we'll be back for, this will be our 95th episode. Our 96th episode will start up in September. And then we'll be celebrating our 100th episode this fall. So with that being said, Martha, what do you have coming up?
Yeah. So on Monday, I'm having an event with Margaret Martinez where we're going to talk about Connect Impact Hub. Brother Chris is also involved with Connect Impact Hub. And I also wanted to mention, I will be back here next Saturday. AI, of course, we all have our own inputs on it, but I've been watching Brother Chris, who's here on stage with us, from the beginning of using AI to now. He has progressed so much just to see that growth. And it is impressive. And for him to use it, and, even though he doesn't like the automated service, which is fine. There's certain tools that we like and we don't like, but just to see that, I just applaud him for that. And anyone that may be watching that may think, oh no, I don't want to do anything AI, just connect with Brother Christopher, who's here with us, and talk to him. And I'm sure he'll be happy to give you some tips on how to make it user-friendly for yourself. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to you, Mac. And I believe Bill has a live event tomorrow also, where he's going to continue the conversation on AI. So do look out for that invite. Okay, Bill.
Amazing. Well, Bill, if you can, come back to the replay in the comments and drop a link so that people can follow and continue the conversation over there, my friend. If I can, I will, although I might get into trouble because it's a big number birthday for my mother-in-law tomorrow, and I better not get into trouble by being on LinkedIn or on my phone. Anyway, with that though, next week we have an incredible human who's coming as a guest speaker to our Social Saturday chat, and Zion suggested some topics on men's mental health for us. And while I was thinking about it, this person came to mind because he's been a massive advocate for mental health because of his own lived experience. This is somebody that was in the military, had some serious PTSD and trauma, and has had to live through that and many other life experiences over the last 3 or 4, 5 decades. And he has spoken on stages in front of tens of thousands of people across the world, shared stages with people like Gary Vee, Tony Robbins, and loads of other like household names. And he's agreed to come and share with us and talk about mental health and on the topic of why do men bottle things up. And I'm hoping that this is actually going to take off into something where we have regular monthly mental health conversations with some incredible people that I've been talking to in the background. And not make it, I was speaking to somebody yesterday and they were talking about mental health and about these groups that men can go to. And the thing that came to mind was the fact that almost like AA, we tend to take these things that we should be discussing openly and not make it like some disease that people have and you don't want to come out and talk about it, because everybody goes into these tiny little spaces. They go and talk about the challenges, and then they go back into the open world and pretend like nothing's wrong. And I really feel that we need to remove the stigma around mental health, and especially, our leaders and men, because, we need to be better leaders. My daughter yesterday, and I couldn't disagree with her, said that the world would be a much safer, better place if all our leaders were women. And I was like, you know what? I can't disagree because we're in a mess.
With some of the leaders we have right now, it's hard to disagree with that statement. It really is.
Yeah. And go for it, Felipe.
No, I think I'm so glad you're highlighting mental health, because I think that is something that, look, whether you're African American, Latino, whatever, men have been bad about it traditionally. I grew up, my father was not against talking about mental health. He just didn't do it. He was Latino. He grew up. It's like, if you're mentally stressed, go for a walk. Go have a drink. Relax. That was the advice that you got, but it's very different. And I gotta give kudos to Nicole and Guy. She has gathered a bunch of men together to write a book around men's mental health. She'd asked me to write the foreword for it. That's why I know about it. And that's the kind of thing we need more about, is men sharing their stories and not feeling embarrassed, but feeling strong and saying, hey, you know what? Regardless of my mental health, I'm still the CEO of this company. I'm still the VP here. I'm still doing this. I still own my own company, whatever it is. Let people let people see that just because you have mental health challenges, it's just like having physical challenges. Oh, I got sick. Oh, I have a bad knee, or I have arthritis. We aren't scared to share that. So let's not be scared about sharing our mental health.
Absolutely. And we forget about the leadership that we, like the roles we discount, because as men, we are leaders in our homes, to our children, to the people that we work around. And the same goes for women. But for this topic next week, I think the stigma needs to be removed. And I think there's a huge opportunity for men globally to step up. And yeah, it needs to come out. We're seeing the men's mental health and suicide rates are escalating, and it's frightening. And in today's world, Alan Kleinans is joining us next week. The event's already been posted on LinkedIn in the Social Saturday chat. Hopefully I got that one right, because I couldn't even get today's right. But do us a favor, go on there, make sure that you put it in your diary, go and follow Alan. He's not really as active as he should be on LinkedIn, but after our conversation, he will be more active, because he's on almost every other platform. It's gonna be one of those really tough conversations, but it's he's got a beautiful way of communicating, and I'm really looking forward to it. So please, Social Saturday chat page, go and follow next week's event, go and follow Alan. I won't go into anything else, but lastly, just to say thank you to my Social Saturday community. My app went live at the beginning of this month, and it's a paid app, but I've dropped in 2 months free for all my Social Saturday community, because I want you to be able to go and do things better, save time, and just step up your game on LinkedIn. And if I can help with that, who knows where that may help and that may go. So those are my final words. Felipe, over to you.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us for another great topic. I'm excited about next week's topic. So go out there and go ahead and accept the invite, or schedule yourself to attend so that you can be part of this. And I'm looking at all the men on stage and in the chat. Let's lead by example. Whether you have a nephew, a son, or a neighbor's son that looks up to you, show them that it's okay to talk about your mental health. That it's not a weakness, that's a strength. All right. We'll see you all in 1 week. Have a great rest of your Saturday, everyone. Stay safe and follow us on LinkedIn. Adios, everyone.
Bye, everyone.